sanjose.rcityradio.com.
Okay, so for the business side, we know the name of the business is the Bailey Museum.
Bailey Art Museum.
Let me get over here. I got the sun shining right in. No, or just can you stand over here? That way. Yeah, that's good. And we're in. You're the primary person. You and your wife, Betty, are the primary people that run it, man.
Yeah.
We're in Crockett. And so, how long have you been here?
We opened this Bailey Art Museum in May this year.
This year, and
Yeah.
before everything was in Port Costa. Before that,
Yeah.
had that stayed open up until the time you opened this?
Well, we had everything you see here in the museum. We had displayed in my studio,
Right.
and accumulating over the years, so we've been getting it set up
And your main product is the artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the posters and little knickknacks and stuff that you say your wife and your daughter make.
Yeah, our main motivation was to have a nice showroom for people who wanted to come in and look at our artwork. And then we've kind of developed a gift shop, and we had books, but we published postcards especially to have available here, and we've made some jewelry.
Do you find that easier now with the home computer being so readily available and the printing?
Oh yeah, the computer, it just changed business completely. I mean, when we started, when I got out of college, and I started my art career, we would use Ditto and mimeograph and carbon paper, and I hated to work in the office.
Oh yeah.
And and we took crappy slides that would fade, and I don't know. It's really been great to move into the digital age.
But in some ways for me, it's a little bit, impersonal. But it's just, can you imagine what a person like Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci could have done with a computer? Or it just boggles the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, here you are. You can do your own publishing.
Yeah,
write your own book and do your own.
All in your own time.
Yeah, and I mean this works out pretty good for us.
And your hours of operation, 1 to 5.
We're open weekends 1 to 5, Saturday and Sunday, and the rest of the week we work in the studio.
And your email or your website is ClaytonBailey.com.
That's right.
ClaytonBailey.com, and we all know what's. Yeah, and we never really did talk about what drove you into art in general. What was it? What do you think it was? And at what point in your life do you think it was that you just kind of said, "This is what I'm going to do"?
Well, I think when I was in high school, I loved Mad Magazine, and I really admired Don Martin, and I tried to draw cartoons like Don Martin, even though I never thought anything about becoming an artist. I just thought, it'd be great to draw cartoons and be able to do lettering and make comic strips and stuff like that. But I was directed by my parents and by teachers, to go into science or technology. And so I went to college to become a pharmacist. But one day I was walking through the student union, and there was an Easter egg decorating contest. And so I picked up an egg and I drew a Don Martin face on it, and I ended up winning first prize in the Easter egg.
That's awesome.
So I thought, hey, maybe I've got some talent. So then I decided to try to find a class to learn how to do cartooning and maybe become a cartoonist. And from that, I accidentally discovered that there was actually an art department at the University of Wisconsin.
For me, it was Ed Big Daddy Roth.
Yeah,
the bulging eyes, and that's I want to draw like that. I want to do that. So and it's kind of in the same vein, the kind of wild, out there kind of imagery that got you into it, and it kind of drew me to it as well.
Yeah, I knew Daddy Roth's work, and I also knew Basil Wolverton's.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He was a Mad magazine artist for the early days, very early days.
And even in the 1940s, he had just insane comics.
Well, recently I've been renting the original Popeye cartoons and stuff, and they're just full of just crazy little things in the background and stuff. And I don't know, do you remember watching those or anything?
No, but I think I will after you tell me that.
Just and get the first and get the series. They've got a series, and in the background, it's just crazy stuff going on in the background. And I've really had a good time watching those. So back to the business. They want to know. Do you spend a lot of money on advertising, or is it just or exposure? Do you just go by word of mouth and your website?
Well, you know, I never learned anything about business in college, and I think I'm kind of weak in that. But we don't spend any money on advertising, but we do try to cultivate the press, people that we know in the press, you know, that
Right.
could write articles, and we've gotten written up in a few art magazines, and we've been on some TV shows like Oddities, San Francisco,
Right,
a couple
I've
of
seen
times. And through the email appeals, we try to keep in touch with people, and
Right.
we just hope it'll snowball.
So through that, do you get a lot of attention? I mean, I noticed you had some people in here today. How did they find you? Did they tell you how they found you?
Well, the people that we had today, two of them were former students, but one was just a person who was driving around town sightseeing and saw our sign. So there are a lot of different reasons. Having seen the article in the art magazine Juxtapose, it brought some people in, and I hope people that see your show will. We're hoping on word of mouth. We wouldn't know where to spend the money on advertising.
Yeah, I mean, you're very specialized with what you have here, and it's like you couldn't really, take it to like a food magazine or art magazines are probably the only real outlet that you can find for something like this.
We'd like people, who are driving around, maybe who are looking at the AAA magazine to read about us, that kind of thing. We're trying to contact people who would bring groups that could come, groups of 6 to
Right.
20 come in for a tour. We're interested in that kind of angle. And so we have either the artworks that we could sell, or the tour that we could offer for a paid admission.
So what is your biggest seller, do you think, here? Is maybe the posters, or do you have any way to track what sells the most, or is that just something you don't really keep track of?
Well, we sell a lot of postcards, and then when you get beyond that, we've been selling some small metal sculptures like the ones on the wall here that are made out of coffee pots. But we have sold a number of things, that are in the less than $2,000 price range. So I guess that would be the number one thing we're selling is small sculptures.
I don't think this question applies to you, but do you have any deals going on at the moment? I think what they mean is like 2-for-1 kind of thing or something like that.
Oh, that's a Yelp kind of question, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? They give me these questions to ask.
Yeah, well, we don't have any special sales, but we have the autograph books, and we don't charge for the autograph.
No, that's a deal. And then how it says here, is there a time of day or week you are the slowest and need more exposure, or do you get? What's your visitor? Schedule. Do you get a lot during the weekend, or?
We decided to be only open on the weekend because we don't want to be shopkeepers full
Right.
time. And I think that's probably a good time to be open because that's when people aren't working and they have the time to drive around, and they need to, be wanting to go out for entertainment to some destination. And there's restaurants in the area, and a number of people drop in here on their way to the restaurants in Port Costa. Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon.
Okay, well, that about, because like the rest of these questions really don't apply. I mean, you never had radio airplay before, except for what we're gonna put up for you today, or this week.
I don't know, I don't think we have ever,
Well, I think that's all I got. All right, well, can you say just one thing for me?
just one thing for me.
Hello, our city radio.
What's it called?
Our city radio.
Hello, our city radio.
Say thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Clayton. That was a great interview.
Oh, thanks for coming, Jeff.
sanjose.ourcityradio.com.